Hello, I'm Pam Shockley-Zalabak, and you are tuned into the Lion's Den, the official source for UCCS sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Lion's Den, the official source for UCCS sports. I'm your sports MC, MJR Jamandi, and I'm broadcasting live on the beautiful campus of the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs. And I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime, Money Martin Hines.
I am so money right now.
You are so money.
I could use some money, though.
You could. I'm not talking money as in your bank account, Martin. I'm talking money.
And if you were to refer to that, it would not look good.
Well, that's why I'm not, Martin. I'm referring to Gold Rush Tuesday, Martin. Do you know what that is? Of course you know what that is.
Yes.
You're my co-host.
Yes.
It's Gold Rush Tuesday here on the beautiful campus of UCCS, because tonight is the first home playoff game in a decade. Martin, just the second of all time here tonight as the women are set to host Colorado Christian for Gold Rush Tuesday. Get your pans out. Get ready for mining.
Yes. Is that what you're wearing? Is that a gold shirt that you're wearing, my friend?
A gold UCCS shirt. That's right.
Is that a gold chain underneath that shirt, or is that silver?
Yeah, it's white gold. How about
white
that?
Gold.
White gold. How about that? There we go. I'm busting out all the gold for Gold Rush Tuesday. Martin, this is a big deal. Second home playoff game ever for UCCS basketball.
Yeah,
that is
people should be excited.
I'm excited. You know how hopped up I am on coffee right now? I got up first thing in the morning. That's the first thing I did. Let's get my coffee.
Get your coffee on.
That's right. I'm ready. Martin, it's going to be a long day. Going to be a great day. I am pumped. We got a great show here for all of our millions and millions of listening Lions.
That's right.
That's right.
And you know what? There's going to be millions and millions of listening Lions. They're going to be going to the game tonight.
I hope so. First 500 students get in free.
500?
500. That's going to go
Dang.
quick. It's going to be a sellout crowd at the Gallagher Event Center tonight, so get your tickets while you can. But Martin, before we continue with the show, as always, Martin, quickly, how was your weekend? Because we got a lot to cover, but I want to know, how was your weekend, my friend?
It was good, but I got to tell you, I am intrigued by this this youthful phenomenon going on. This thing called the Harlem Shake, I believe.
The Harlem Shake. It came out of nowhere.
Yeah, there was a YouTube clip that the kiddos are looking at, and there's
viral.
Yeah, and Colorado College was on a plane.
Down the road.
The field hockey team was on an airplane,
and they did the Harlem Shake.
Yeah, and I feel a little bit excited. Like, hey, what are we doing?
Hey,
what are we doing?
That's all right. We had that flash mob with the "Call Me Maybe."
Yeah, but that's old news.
That's old news now, right?
You know what? I'm making a call to action, and I'm sure the chancellor would not appreciate this, or the athletic department. But
so don't do it.
Call to action. I want to see someone coordinate and put on the Harlem Shake during halftime of the women's basketball game.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you got about 6 hours to coordinate that. Millions and millions of listening Lions out there.
Are you kidding?
Martin wants to see the Harlem Shake.
With the social media, these kids can get that together in a heartbeat.
20 minutes. We can have it right outside our room right now.
We could.
We could. We're not going to, but we could.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, Martin has that request of our millions
call to
and
action.
millions.
I'll just repeat it. I want to see the Harlem Shake at the women's halftime for the women's basketball game tonight.
You got to do it while you can because
I want to see how much power we have on this radio station.
Well, don't do that. The results might not be favorable to us and to you, Martin.
Yeah.
But you know,
I got to tell you, I'm always running into people, right? Just potential guests. Like I was talking to a couple of players for the club baseball team.
That's right. We got to get them on the show.
And I said, I'm with the Lions Den. They're like, oh yeah, we've heard of you. I'm like, really?
Somebody's heard of us.
I'm like, you have? Wow.
Okay. You found our one fan, huh?
Yes.
All right.
So
now there's millions and millions out there. And for the millions and millions listening right now, make sure you follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook at the Lions Den UCCS. And as always, you can stalk us in real life. Martin and I are always looking for new stalkers.
Sure.
That'd be great. Yeah. But the Harlem Shake, Martin wants to see it.
I want to see,
if we can get it done.
Yes. I want to see those kids out there doing the Harlem Shake.
Tonight. Let's see. Let's get it done. Well, you never know.
It would be the best time to do it. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, they better hurry up because I saw it at Baskin Robbins. It's the flavor of the month, and it's going to be out of here quick. So we got to appreciate it.
You have got a point, my friend.
Yeah, we got to enjoy it.
Next week, it's going to be something else.
That's right. I
agree.
So
get it done.
You're right. Well, Martin, again, as I mentioned, a full show today.
Yes.
Softball was in action over the weekend.
Unfortunately.
Women's basketball was in action over the weekend. Men's basketball concluded their season. And golf, right now, in action.
How are they playing?
Well,
how can they find their ball?
They're not in Colorado, so...
Okay.
I mean, yeah. They're not here in the spring.
I'll tell you where they should be.
No snow.
They should be in the great city of Austin, Texas, because that is a happening place. I'm just telling you right now, they got South by Southwest going on.
What are you doing, plugging a city?
I'm just telling you, it's my old stomping grounds. Well, it's beautiful. It's like 68, 70 degrees down there.
Yeah, Amarillo's getting hammered with snow, I heard.
Probably.
Twice as much as the yearly annual already.
Probably.
But in any event, Martin,
we got stuff to get to. Let's get to it.
A lot to get to. That's right, because we got a few special guests here today on the Lions Den. Well, they stopped by yesterday. But they're awfully busy with the home playoff game tonight. So we got them in the studio yesterday, and that was the Lone Wolf, Lauren Wolfinger, and the Killer, Jessica Kienitz, stopping by. And we had a lot of fun with our guests yesterday, and they previewed the game tonight, talked a lot about what's going to happen, what they foresee the rest of the season. And no game yesterday, Martin, because it was all business for this playoff game. But a little bit of trivia, which put this season's run for the women's basketball team in perspective, because they've had one great season. We cannot deny that. So we're going to go ahead and jump to that interview in just a few minutes right here on the Lions Den, because we got a full show, Martin. We got to get going.
Yes.
Full slate of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if people are interested in finding out information on tonight's game, they can go to GoMountainLions.com. You can check it out. They have everything. I believe the game's at 7 o'clock tonight. Gates open at 6, so get there a little bit early.
That's right. We're going to be having a lot of festivities for tonight.
Yeah.
Gold Rush Tuesday. So
Gold
we're gonna
Rush.
We're going to get to that with Lauren Wolfinger, Jessica Kienitz in just a few moments when we get back from our break right here on the Lions Den. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, you're tuned in to the Lions Den, the official source for UCCS sports. Martin, this question becomes a regular one week in and week out.
Yes, it's very repetitious.
Very repetitious. And oftentimes you come back with the same answer, but I'm still going to ask the question anyways.
Am I not answering it right?
No, every time you get it right. You're acing it.
Okay.
When I say we're the official source of UCCS sports, what does that mean?
That means that we get the inside knowledge. We get the interviews. Like, we get things like texts from the SID telling us, hey, breaking news. We get that. But we also get coaches and players into the show. We get to learn about, if coaches have a talent or players have a talent that most people
They're
don't
all
know
talented,
about.
Martin. Otherwise they wouldn't be on the team.
But I mean, like, Coach Peterson used to be a comedian, a stand-up comedian, and we've had players come in.
So that's the inside scoop. I think the
but
inside scoop.
Not just that, but I mean we get to get the breakdown from the players and coaches about the games, how the team's doing, all that kind of thing.
For example, like when we have the Lone Wolf, Lauren Wolfinger on the team.
Yes.
And the Killer, Jessica Kienitz.
Ms. Lone Wolf.
Ms. Lone Wolf. Well, right now, what I say it makes us the official source for UCCS Sports, Martin, is we got the players right now in the Lions Den studio, and they're going to hype up the game for us because tomorrow is going to be the first game in over a decade where UCCS has a home basketball playoff game. The second time in program history. And so to hype up the game, a couple ladies stop by here right now in the studio, Lauren Wolfinger and Jessica Kienitz. Thank you so much for joining us today, ladies, right here on the Lions Den. And after this, you got practice. The last practice before the big game. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
So we're here to hype you up for your practice.
Oh, we can't wait.
You ready? You ready for this?
I'm ready.
I hope so, because tomorrow, that's big stuff. So we brought you in a day early because tomorrow, you got stuff to do. You got to prep. You got a game plan. You got a big game tomorrow night. And so today you came and joined us right here on the Lions Den. And Martin, normally we have some games for our guests.
Yes.
But this is all business.
Yeah, we usually play things like finish that phrase. So we have idioms like if we were to say, stings like a, or float like a butterfly. Then, yeah.
See, I think these girls would already win that game, so that's not even fair to our last
week's guest. We have too
guest.
much. We have too much to talk about right now. So, and like you said, we get the inside knowledge. For instance, we get to learn how to correctly pronounce Jessica Kienitz's name.
Yeah, because the guys this weekend on the broadcast didn't get it.
Well, the way she taught me was it's like peanuts.
It's like peanuts with a K.
It still took me a while, but I got it.
But you got it.
2 years later.
Just in time for the home playoff game.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah,
all right.
We've been getting it right, I think, most of the time.
I think so.
But also, your parents can listen, so they may, or friends, and they may be.
The millions and millions of listening Lions out there.
So many.
Right.
So many. An endless amount. Well, ladies, as we've been talking about tomorrow, big game, which for our listeners right now will be later this evening here at the Gallagher Event Center, 7 o'clock tip-off time. You're set to play Colorado Christian. You're the number 3 seed in the RMAC, and earlier in the season, you played Colorado Christian, and you beat them pretty handily. But we were talking before the show, and you made light of the fact that just because they're the 6th-ranked team doesn't mean they shouldn't be taken seriously. They're a tough team. And you ladies are ready for this tough matchup. Can you talk a little bit about the matchup between Colorado Christian and UCCS for the first round of the 2013 RMAC Shootout? How do you feel about Colorado Christian and playing those Cougars for the first round?
Want me to take
Go for it.
All right. Well, yeah, the first thing you were saying about Colorado Christian, 6-8 seed, I mean, for playoffs, any team in the RMAC is always a scary team. That's the crazy thing about this conference is that anyone on any given night can beat someone. That's probably the biggest lesson you could learn throughout a season. But Christian is specifically unique because they, in previous years, and this year included, match up with us really well. Mm-hmm. We have the same kind of style of play. We're fast-paced. We, get motivated off of getting steals and turnovers and fast breaks, and we all have shooters, and then we have people down low that can get the boards. Both of our teams are actually pretty young, too, with some, a couple older girls, but for the most part, young, and everyone has key players that can step at any time. So that's why, and then I was telling before the show, there's some outside friendships on that team too. And last year with the playoffs, there was some questionable things that happened, and CCU and our seed ended up getting switched around. And so there's just a lot of history there between CCU and us of all the teams in the RMAC. It goes back, so it's going to be a dogfight.
And you were mentioning that you're not sure. You were talking about other teams, and we won't mention who you were favoring that you wanted to play. But you mentioned that it was a little harder to figure out exactly what the Cougars do, right?
Yeah, CCU is a scary team to us and a lot of people in the RMAC because they have such great potential, and when they're playing at their best, they're a scary team. But just like we've kind of struggled with this season, they can be inconsistent as well. So that's why it's just kind of scary because you don't know what CCU you're going to get, and you always respect a team, but you just have to bring your guns.
And you pointed out they beat Mesa earlier.
Right, they're the only
season.
team to beat Mesa this
all
season.
In the
all
RMAC,
season,
yeah.
all season. Period. Every team Mesa played, CCU is the only one that can beat them. Another thing that CCU has is belief. They always believe, and they play with heart. So.
What do you guys play with?
And we'll find out exactly what Lauren Wolfinger and Jessica Kienitz claim helps them get to a win every weekend right when we get back from break here on the Lions Den.
Join the UCCS Christian Challenge group as they go to the Sky Sox game April 5th. Tickets will only be $5. Contact the UCCS Christian Challenge group by visiting their website at www.challengeuccs.com or email them at challengeuccs@gmail.com.
UCCS Radio would like to thank the UCCS School of Public Affairs for their sponsorship of UCCS Radio.
Mad skills, yo.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, I'm saying in the first game this season, the Mountain Lions went in to Colorado Christian and you beat them. You beat them pretty good, 80-64. In that game, it was Jerry Pickle and Gabby Ramirez with game highs of 16 points each. So is that what we can expect in this first round game? Are we going outside in? We're going inside out? What can we expect from the UCCS Mountain Lions in this first round game against the Cougars?
I mean,
Everything?
everything.
It's all going down?
Yeah, it's all going down. I mean, obviously we're going to try to do outside and inside games. We'll have to bring both to make it a good game, I think.
Well, it seems like throughout this season, the inside presence is something you've been trying to identify all season long. A lot of that has been injury. Lauren Neer, Sammy Gentile, both hurt before the season started. And then a couple other injuries along the way. And in fact, Jessica, that's when you first got your start this season, is with the injury to Sam Patterson. And you stepped right into that role. And the Mountain Lions just kept plugging away, and all of a sudden, you're the 3 seed. So can you talk a little bit about that transition for you? Because at that time, Sam Patterson was the RMAC Player of the Week. So a lot of the offense was going through Patterson and then out everywhere else. And then all of a sudden, you had to kind of step into that starting position.
Right.
And I remember talking to you for the first night prior to that game, and I asked you how you felt about that. And you were really excited to get that starting role. And you've continued to get the start since then. So can you talk about how you felt and how that transition has been from coming off the bench to starting every game?
I think it's been different. I don't know. I like it a lot. Like this time last year, I thought I was going to be a point guard. So it's been kind of a real transition for me because I've had to switch positions, like total different positions, and kind of learn a new game pretty much. But it's been tons of fun, and I've been enjoying learning a different part of the game, and I think it's going to help me a lot in the future, and it's been a lot of fun.
Well, you had one of your best games against the Grizzlies, Adams State. You were really productive in that game. Did it take just a couple of weeks? Because this was about just 2 or 3 weeks ago that you had that game, talk about, did it take a little bit of time to transition into kind of being effective that way?
Oh, yeah. I definitely think it took a little bit of time because I feel like, I don't know, it feels like a totally different game to me going from being even just a 2-3 to a 4. It's just the inside game is totally different. You have to just different positions, and defensively and offensively just position. It's just different. But I've actually grown to enjoy it a lot.
Well, I would say that speaks to your versatility as a player because, as you mentioned,
We call her our LeBron.
LeBron, you do it all. You could be point guard all the way up to the center.
Yeah.
I mean, because that is a big difference, playing a point guard position to going inside, being that 4 spot. But I remember talking to head coach Corey Lasser, and he said he put you in that spot because of your versatility, because you can do all those things. And since then, this Mountain Lion team has continued to roll. I mean, been on fire, and I'm sure that wasn't the easiest of transitions. But Lauren, you kind of had a little bit of the opposite happen in your career here because you were a starter at first, and now you're one of the most dangerous players coming off the bench. You're the second leading scorer on this Mountain Lion team, and we're going to get into your all-time career ranks here at UCCS because you're going to go down in the history books in quite a few categories. But initially, you were that starting position, and we talked to Darius Pardner last week, and he was in a similar situation where he was used to starting, and now he's got to come off that bench. Still as important, if not more important to the team to provide that scoring off the bench. But can you talk about that reverse transition a little bit?
Yeah, even to compare my freshman season to this season is hard to do, really. Just because anyone that knows where we were my freshman season, we were only won 3 conference games, completely different coach, completely different group of girls. So that comparison's kind of hard, but for me, throughout my high school career and college career, I've always been a starter, or not starter. Even my sophomore and junior year, there were some games I started and didn't. So this year when we came in, and I knew that I could probably be a starter, but I know that coach, the one thing he does is he never does anything without having a reason for it. we didn't sit down and have a conversation and he told me, hey, you're not going to start. It just kind of, that's how it was. And I took my role and I was just going to do whatever I could. And then later on, he explained to me how, important it was for scoring to come off the bench. And for me, I actually enjoy coming off the bench because, for example, I started my senior night, and it was kind of weird because when you don't start for 20 games and then you're I wouldn't say I didn't like it and I didn't give my best effort, but it's just a different mindset, and I kind of like being able to see how the game's feeling out and be that little boost for girls. And then when people go into, because a lot of people put a lot emphasis on a starter, you're a starter, so you got to be the best player. But for people like that, I don't really, they don't know what goes on in our team. The only people that matter are the people on the team and the coaching staff, and we know what we're doing is working. So I don't feel like I have to justify why I'm not starting because it works for our team, and I just love to do what I can do.
Well, and you still make it rain when you come off the bench. You're the second leading scorer on the team. Just under 10 points per game, so still clearly effective coming off the bench. But historically, Miss Wolfinger, we have
Ms. Lone Wolf.
Ms. Lone Wolf. We have some career stats here.
All right.
Do you know where you rank all time here at UCCS? I'm sure you read the wonderful stories that I write.
I've read a couple of those. In the articles, I've seen them, but I don't have I don't really.
Don't have them memorized.
Yeah.
Well, just so you're aware how good you are in the top 10 all-time in UCCS history for points, field goals made, three-pointers, steals, and assists. Ooh. And I got to tell you, I knew before I started calculating all these stats, I knew you were going to be up there in three-pointers because you like to make it rain from long range. But the one that really surprised me, in all honesty, was this assist record. You're 5th all-time in career assists here at UCCS. And, in fact, you're just 10 away from moving up to another spot. So, yeah, did you know all that? Did you know you ranked that high?
I couldn't say I knew I ranked that high. I mean, other than when the articles started coming out around senior night, then that's when I knew. But, yeah, up until they started coming out, I really had no idea. The only thing I kind of knew was that I was close, like you said, in 3 points, and I knew this season I'd kind of got a lot of assists and steals, but overall as a career, I had no idea where I stood. And
you feel like you're not done yet. I mean, as a senior, are you trying to, for instance, senior night, you had a great game as playing in that game, but I got the sense in watching the last few games that you're determined not to let the season end yet.
Yeah. Oh, heck no. I mean, the season ending is
You want to keep it going, right. You want to hold on to that feeling of playing.
Yeah, there's a lot of things behind that. I mean, the season ending also means my career's ending. But I don't think about that as much. I do think about it, but when game time comes, that's not what I'm thinking about because that's too much pressure for anyone to handle. That's life. That's the next step is going to come eventually. What I'm trying to do is not take for granted every second I have on the court with this group of girls. Because, and that's what we've talked about a lot, is this is a young group of girls, a very talented group of girls. The only thing they're really lacking is experience. And unfortunately, I've had to go through some losses, like the loss at Fort Lewis last year. And some of these girls went through that as well. And that's the difference right now between us and the Metro is, the Metro girls have experienced what's like to win and to lose in postseason play. And we haven't. So really what I'm trying to do is just give every ounce of effort I can and just hope that the girls can follow along because I know that they're giving their all for me and I want them to give their all for themselves as well because it's an opportunity that they might not see again.
Now, you have had the experience playing for the last few seasons and as a senior, being on a team that has matched the record wins, the record number of wins of 19.
Yeah.
And hearing comparisons to a team back over 10 years ago, I mean, your sense of how special this team is this season.
Incredible. And so much more reason than for basketball. And Kienitz is silent right now because she knows I'll probably start crying. But I'm not in an emotional mood right now, so I'm okay. But it's incredible because of how much these girls have bought in. Like I was telling MJ earlier, the team I was on freshman year, it was just tough because the camaraderie wasn't there. Every day when we came to practice, you could tell girls, it wasn't that they didn't like each other, but there just wasn't this overall feeling of anything really. And ever since we've started from day one this season, you could tell there was something special was happening. whether it meant we were going to go to a championship or whether it meant we were just going to have a great time playing basketball together, we didn't know. But there was something there that if you've been around this sport long enough, you could sense. And so that's why it was great. There was a buying in aspect, there was a working hard aspect, and there was a trust aspect. And that's something that you can't really coach.
Yeah. Well, Kienitz, jump in here, Jessica. We had the couple of men's players on last week.
Mm-hmm.
We had, as MJ mentioned, Darius' partner. We had the Alexes on, Alex Welsh and Alex Coca-Cola. But we asked them if you guys play if you guys were to play against each other, how do you think they would do? So
how's
Jessica,
that going down? The guys team versus
kinda,
the girls team.
They thought they could handle you guys.
I don't know. I think I got my money on you ladies. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, especially with. I mean, here's the thing. What a matchup I would like to see is I would like to see a rebound, where you have 5'2", 5'3", Gabby Ramirez going up against Kyle Clark at 7 foot. And I hate to say it, but I think
she might win.
Yeah, I actually think she might win that one. But Jessica, what do you say about that? And go ahead and speak. Talk about it in your British accent if you want.
Do it.
Putting me on the spot here.
Sure.
Do I have to talk about it in my accent?
No.
You don't have to do
I'm
that
just kidding.
accent.
Yeah, she does. I'm still your senior.
I don't know. I don't know. I think we could. It'd be a fight. We could do it.
You could take them.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you think it would be?
We get them with smarts. That's
Yeah.
That's
it would
right.
be close
Outsmart 'em.
either way, right? I mean, it would be a very tight contest, right?
If they just dunked it on us the whole time, probably.
You just kneel down. I'll jump in.
Yeah,
We
okay.
can dunk it.
We can.
If you
can do it.
If you guys competed in a 3-point contest, you would
no question.
Hands down. If you're looking at top to bottom roster wise,
No question.
hands down, girls.
A lot of depth on that ladies team. I gotta say.
I mean, even our 6'2" post, Tori Fisher, no one gets to see it, but she can drain threes like the rest of us.
Well, Tori Fisher had a great game.
18 points,
Yes.
13
on
rebounds,
Friday.
career
So that
highs,
was-
game highs.
And that's the thing. You guys are great. That's the thing that we haven't seen really from the men's team that we've seen with this women's team is that you have different players stepping up, and just a consistent play from everybody. But it seems like if, say, somebody's off, you've got somebody to fill in, and your depth when you guys are playing against your opponents. I mean, that's one thing that we've seen how it's made a difference in the wins.
Yeah,
is because you're just throwing waves of players at them.
And we have one wave that's out hurt. It's like we don't like to talk about it because it's what if, could if, but some of the players that are out right now, to imagine, like we said, Patty was just coming along, player of the week, and then before that, Sammy Gentile was out before. So, and that's just what coach's mindset is. We have an obstacle, we're going to power through it. So this week when Kelly was out, Tori did what she just stepped up. And honestly, I don't know if we would have won that game without her. And so for a freshman to do that, and it was huge. It was really huge.
Week in and week out. You never know who's going to take over.
I am curious, though, between the contest of talkers, you and Darius' partner, who would win that one?
And we will find out what Lauren Wolfinger has to say about that when we get back right here on the Lion's Den.
Hey, this is Lee Martin with Life Issues Radio. Catch me on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. and Thursdays at 7 p.m. at radio.uccs.edu. And we'll talk about real life and real issues and real solutions to those issues. Catch us online. Hey, check out the handball tournament coming up at the UCCS Rec Center on March 14th at 7 p.m. This is a no-cost free event. Just visit the Rec Center's website, get yourself signed up, and get it over there for a great time.